All right, David Finch, Cyberforce. What was it, 1994 to 97 ish? All right, so here we go. This is not every issue. However, I'm using some of these to kind of show the evolution of Dave Finch art style, and when, in my own personal opinion, he really kind of grasped the direction that he wanted to go and became the superstar that we all know today. All right, so a couple early issues. I got all of them. I don't know. These are a few that I found. I am going to point out, though, that I'm pretty sure if there is a Cyberforce Omnibus 2 crowdfunded by Top Cow, these are probably going to be, the stake of that run of books, because this is all post Mark Silvestri. There is one issue here that's got a few pages by Mark, but you'll see that. All right, so anyways, let's check out some of this artwork here. Fantastic cover right here, Cyberforce 16. I think this was after Finch drew, there was a Strike Force issue, I think, or something like that, and then there was also a Cyberforce annual, which he illustrated. I couldn't locate that. I have it, it's in a long box. I have many comics. 40 years of collecting will do that. So anyways, yeah, so we get to see Finch on pencils here. And again, I think this was after, I might be wrong, I do think that this was after that annual that had come out, illustrated by Dave. So yeah, pretty strong layouts, storytelling and all that's good. Where I think, I'm not really sure here. Some of the faces, he was still he had the figures down. The figure art has always been tight. There's absolutely nothing about the poses, the action, and even figure placement. I think really the struggle was mostly faces for him early on. Just with consistency or inconsistency, I should say. Maybe shots that are not super comfortable, but that all came with experience. Some of this rendering is stuff you would never see him do today. So I think just really trying to find his path. So yeah, we'll just thumb through these, because this is not like the best of the best, in my opinion, of the Cyberforce books. Probably he had a lot of energy behind this work, obviously, because he got, I know he was pretty young and a pretty big Silvestri fan, and getting to work for one of, I'm going to assume one of his idols, was probably helped the situation, being amped up and ready to work and all that. So yeah, again, the figure stuff, all this stuff works really well. Even compared to like today's work, this stuff is still, it holds up. But again, it's the faces, some of the sizes, like you got this crop here, and the eyes are kind of large here, and then you got the same character here, and then all of a sudden it's like more of a Mark Silvestri relative to like a Silvestri style, right? So yeah, a little bit of teeter-tottering there, maybe trying to figure out, maybe too many influences too, because the studio had quite a bit of different influence. They had, who was it, like Anthony Chun. You had some cartoony stuff, and then you had stuff that was like essentially Mark 2.0, Billy Tan, Michael Turner, things like that, and they were all coming up at the same time at this time. Really good use of shadows. This stuff is always super fun. Yeah, so again, a lot of holes in this work. This feels literally like a Silvestri panel here, so maybe digging into that batter's box and just figuring out, well, I'll just continue to kind of do a Mark thing, and then kind of figure it out along the way. This is a really cool shot right here. So yeah, anyway, and then this has been done a million times by a million artists, but always effective. Really cool face. This right here is a cool face, but again, kind of went back and forth. Some of these shots that are a little more pushing the boundaries of maybe his knowledge at the time of how to draw specific angles and stuff. Okay, so yeah, this, he had the adrenaline going, got this issue knocked out. Let's skip a couple months. We've got 18 here. Silvestri, it's not fair. Mark did the first few pages here, so we're not going to look at that. And then you got Brando. Brandon Peterson did a few fill-ins. I know he's in here. Okay, here we go. So we're back to this, all right? Again, some of the comfort zone, you could tell, it was kind of here and there, kind of going back and forth. Yeah, I don't know. This right here, for some reason, this screams Richard Bennett to me, and I don't know why. There's something about the shading. It's not a common thing to shade faces really like this, where it's almost like 3 light sources. You would have like a 1, 2, and then a 90-degree forward-facing light source as well. This is a really cool. I love this panel. I've always loved that panel. This is a cool panel too. So yeah. Anyways, not a lot of heavy lifting in this for Finch. 5 pages. He only did a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pages of art for the entire issue for that month. And he might have had other stuff going on too. I'm not sure if it was around this time, but they had that big crossover thing with Marvel, and he did illustrate the, what was it, Elektra, was it Ghost Rider Elektra? It was something like that, but anyways, that was also, those were fun. I picked all those books up. I was a sucker for it. I was a Top Cow. I was an extreme studio artist that was simping for Top Cow. That's essentially what I was. Alright, so, okay, it only has them listed. This doesn't feel like a Finch page. Okay. Around this time, and I know Finch has mentioned several times, I do watch his streams, and he had mentioned before about Simon Bisley, that kind of opened up a lot of his approach with his work. And you can still see it here. He's not really dialed in 100%. This feels like a Joe Quesada, almost like a Quesada shot. So possibly, he possibly was just taking from a lot of different sources, trying to, still kind of find identity on the page. This is a cool shot, but again, this panel here also feels like a Richard Bennett panel to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because no other image artist was really pushing shadows in the same regard. I love this face shot right here too. I love that the fades and all that. And I think this was all. I'm pretty sure he was primarily inked by Gorder. I don't know if Weems was in the picture yet. So, but yeah, like faces, like things like this. This is just, it's. Maybe Deadline, but it just, and then like some of these fades through here, they seem forced. Like, let's try to make this panel look interesting, when maybe a simpler approach would have worked better. So, yeah, and again, you can see it here. He's not 100% comfortable, but yeah, like Finch had mentioned before, as soon as he started looking at a lot of Simon Bisley work and things like that. I think it kind of opened up. This is a cool poster here. Is it Gomez? Oh, this is Frank Gomez. Yeah, Gomez, he did a really, really cool, there was some Superman book. I think it might have been a Squarebound book. But yeah, there was a Superman book that Frank Gomez illustrated that I thought was pretty awesome. 24, not one of my favorite issues, but this specific issue here, I feel like is where he dialed in. So again, some of it, there's a little bit of a wonkiness factor. Some of this almost feels like a still freeze, like a Brian still freeze approach to like shading. It doesn't have the typical undershadow with cross hatching coming out of every single muscle drop. And this is really cool too. I like the heavy shadows going on here. But yeah, I feel like this issue here, I really do believe is probably where he started focusing on influence and applying it to the pages, because the next issue is, I feel like, Dave Finch's first home run, which is book 25. Yeah, so that was kind of short. Finch draws the second half. Pretty cool gimmick cover. Also, just, if you don't know, this book here, I think it's actually the first appearance of Darkness. This Cyberforce 25. There is a pencil preview in the back. You get some pencils, 1 page of inks by Bat, but a lot of pencil work in here. So yeah, you get a Darkness preview, but back to Finch. Alright, so let's see, go through this. I don't know who drew this. It looks like the artist that did 9 Volt. Anthony Chun, so it is Chun. Okay. Dave Finch, they credit him page 1 and 20 through 40. This is page 1, so I don't know why he's listed there unless he did this page. But this does not feel like Finch. This feels like cartoon. That mouth, this is Chun, I'm pretty sure. It matches this style more. Dave's pages are pretty easy to spot. Here we go. Alright, so here's Finch. Is this one? No. That face is not a Finch face. So here we go. So you got Finch right here. Badass. Right from the start. This right here, sick. So killer. So yeah, he didn't have to handle the entire book, oversized issue, but what he does in this book is 100% killer. These shots, the action, everything about it. Oh, and you get a Mark Silvestri poster there, which is also cool. Yeah, everything about these pages, fantastic. And he stuck with this. I really like that shot of impact there too. So yeah, really fun. The rendering on these pages, fantastic. This is cool too. Yeah, so this is why I liked Image Comics, man. They could just sell, it was like every page just selling sizzle. Alright, so yeah, and then I really prefer that. So I mean, if you compare it, look at the approach. Let's look at, so you got Misery right here, right? And then approach it to where the growth became with this. It's like, this is so much better, so much more conformed. Even the shading, and I know it's kind of similar, but it really isn't. This right here is like, it's almost like lens flare all over the place and just kind of adding shadows wherever you feel like there might be a muscle. This here is a lot more controlled. One light source and just really played to it. A little bit of a rim light, which obviously it's, the colors is going to hook you up there. So there's that. All right, so Dave Finch hits his stride, 25, 26, coming up to a crossover with Jimmy Palmiotti, Joe Quesada's Ash. My favorite. These right here are my absolute favorite Top Cow Dave Finch books, and even more so than Ascension. Ascension I feel like was an experiment. I don't know. But these here, Joe Weems, God level inks. So yeah, I have literally nothing negative to say about these issues. These books here, or I shouldn't say negative, critical. Yeah, these issues were fun. The artwork was great. The inks were phenomenal. You could sit and dissect these issues all day. And bam! Ash. Yeah, and I never did a page count. I don't know if these books are shorter or longer, or, standard size. So it would be 26, 27, 28. Again, just so if you want to track them down, my absolute favorite Finch Cyberforce work. So 27 here, badass shot, so good. Look at these. This is sick. Like, I can't imagine opening up Cyberforce, what was it, like 14? If this kind of spread was there, it's like you're giving Mark Silvestri a run for favorite artist at, at Top Cow at the time. Turner was up there too. When this work was being produced, Turner was already um, pretty popular because the Witchblade just took off as well. So yeah, these pages here, man, so good. But yeah, again, it's and you can kind of see, playing with shadows, not afraid to drop, um, heavy black areas, playing with some of this. And what is nice about this too is I don't know how much he was actually looking at the Ash comic books drawn by Quesada. You get a Joe Scioto. Is this Scioto? Oh no, this is Fur Cow. Wow, strange. It almost feels like a Scioto. All right, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I saw this page for sale. It was on Comic Art Fan. Someone sold it. I don't know who was the owner, if it was Weems or Finch, but yeah, this piece right here went up for sale. This is so awesome right here. God, it's so good. When did this book come out? 1996. 96. And there's artists today that can't even match, they can't match this quality. It's insane. But yeah, like I said, God level inks on this, and Finch like big time leveled up. You can really see it on this. This right here is the cover to this. Issue 28. Yeah, but you can really see where Weems came in and just he just played. It looks like he just played. He was really showing off, his thick to thins and texturing and line control. Yeah, this is the best of the best. It's so cool. It's so cool. Now this right here does feel, because of the forced perspective on the hand, kind of Kirby-esque. This does feel like possibly he was looking at a little bit more of a Quesada. But that previous issue, he kind of put some ownage on Ash's design, in my opinion. Yeah, this is just so good. So good. Yeah, and maybe drawing these pages maybe had inspired what he did, because this right here looks like it could be straight out of Ascension with the angels and the wings and stuff. So yeah, but this stuff's so good. Cool double pager, and usually, as artists, we try to avoid when you heavily render a female face, for whatever reason, it usually ages them up quite a bit with repetitive lines. But I'm okay with this stuff, with what he did here. It doesn't feel overworked, because he also applies the same line set to muscles and all that. I just realized that's Spider-Man. Oh, they must be. Oh, they're at it's like Halloween or a cosplay or something, because there's someone in a Spider-Man outfit. That's funny. Awesome shot, Ripclaw right there. Yeah, and then this right, like, come on, get out of here, man. This is so good. All right. So yeah, I think this is officially, yeah, I would say these two 27, 28. I would love if both those books were just one volume together. That'd be awesome. This issue here, was this the one that he didn't draw? Okay, so yeah, there were some. This is really weird. Some of these names. So Michael Turney, I don't know what that means. Maybe Turner was involved on something. D. Barron, I'm pretty damn sure that this D. Barron moniker is actually Brandon Peterson. Yeah, so anyways, you get the Finch intro there. Some more pages here, and this is about the time, I think, when I think these were the ones when he went to work on those Marvel crossover books. You get a little bit of a preview of some of that gritty style that he brought to Ascension right here. Prior to this, I don't recall even splatter being used. Cool fades, a much better grasp on these upshots, these anti views on figure faces. Cool double pager. Yeah, any pages from these would be fantastic to own the originals. Okay, so Finch here, these are not Finch. These pages here are fill-in artists. So weird, it does not fit the book. Back to Finch, okay. So we come back right here, got Finch, 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 and then I think is where this is a bunch of, you got stat work going on. I don't understand this page. We're gonna act like it doesn't exist. Like these are literal like stats of other, I'm pretty sure these are other panels. At least this one is, but I can't place the artist based on the artwork in here. I can't really tell who it is. There's no way this isn't Brandon Peterson. The rendering on the brow and the eyelids and everything else, that's completely and very open. Just contour inks. Like this is totally Brandon. This has to be Peterson. So maybe, I don't know, maybe just he went under the I don't know why they use the moniker. Like this is a total like Peterson pose too. But the rendering on these faces screams Brandon. So Brandon was involved on those somehow. Come on. It's a Peterson face. D. Barron. So maybe he just did layouts, and maybe maybe Dewey did the ink, or D-Tron. Dewey. Alright, yeah, maybe he did finishes on them. I'm not too sure. Witchblade card set, Darkness. Always love this illustration. Who did I see ink this? Richard Friend, actually. He did it. He had inked this. A blue. I think it was a Blue Line inks, but man, it turned out fantastic. So, and I've never seen this actually officially inked by like a Top Cow inker. So, I'm sure there's different people who have taken a shot at the inks, and I know there is a high res of this specific image of Mephisto floating out there on the interwebs. But anyways, yeah. So good closure for Finch. He found his wings. With his style. All right. So yeah, issue 27, 28. Definitely these two right here, top notch. This is also very good. And this right here, you get to see to transition into the greatness that we get to enjoy today. Produce comic books. All right. Anyways, feel free to subscribe. I do lots of videos like this. I do a lot of messing around, a lot of live art streams if you're into that sort of thing. So, thanks for watching.